I'm gonna say it because no one else is. Feminism's gone way too far. Okay? Men can't even look in the same direction for too long at the gym because they're terrified someone's recording them and then blast them all over the internet later on. Can't ask for a phone number because he might also look like a creep. Really can't even exist at this point without apologizing, and I'm tired of it because they're the same women that complain that no man talks to them or approaches them. You know what? You want him to go up to you? You have to go up to him at this point because that's the reality you've all created.
Welcome back, guys. Today we're diving into the harsh reality of modern dating, why men are walking away, and how feminism has completely shifted the game. If you're tired of the double standards and ready to hear the truth, you're in the right place. Hit that like button, smash the subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss out on this real talk. Let's get into it.
So you know how collectively all women across the internet have been like, we choose the bear. Okay, so what's the logic? So you choose the bear, okay, over the man being trapped. Wild. But you're okay with men in women's sports. You're okay with men in women's prisons. And you're okay with men in women's restrooms, where there are women who are vulnerable and also children and little girls. So what's the logic behind that?
The real reason behind this kind of behaviour. It's a fractured personality caused by some serious emotional trauma when they were younger. Something happened at that age, left them scarred, and while the rest of them might have grown up, that part of them stayed stuck. That wound never healed, and now it shows in everything they do. It's simple.
Want to join the workforce. That's just
it's so stupid. My oldest daughter, when she started working, she graduated high school and started working, she called me and she's like, Mom, why do we do this? Why do we pretend that working a job is awesome and that we love it? This is stupid and I hate it. And I was like,
unless you have a real purpose. There's a small percentage of women who have a real purpose. They have real talent that should not be wasted. Right. I 100% agree with that, and that's okay. But it's the same way that we push everybody into college, and not everybody belongs in college. If you have a real intellect, you have a real passion for something you're studying, go for it.
Yeah.
Feminism has failed miserably, and society is right there with it, pushing this whole female degeneracy narrative and widening the gender gap. Men aren't stupid anymore. They see right through this nonsense. It's a sad reality that most women today would rather flaunt themselves in front of a rich sugar daddy and leech off his wealth than put in the same grind as a man to provide for a family. They're quick to scream about justice and equality, but when it's time to do the same work or take on the same responsibilities as men, they suddenly go quiet. They'll talk the talk, but they won't walk the walk. That's the truth.
I'm gonna come out and say this because no one else has the brains or balls to, apparently. Why do we care and cater to a population that is literally less than 1%? And why don't we use our brains, because we don't do that anymore, and why don't we do what's best for the 99.9% of the population and then continue to move forward as we've done throughout history?
Modern women are raised to believe they're better than men right from the jump. They've been conditioned to think they should live life with no restrictions, while men are supposed to revolve around them, giving them all the attention and validation they crave. But guess what? Times have changed. Men have finally started to realise that these women aren't bringing anything to the table. All they offer is the occasional hookup to keep guys chasing after them. But that's it. And men. We're waking up to how unfair it's been. We've been expected to do everything while they contribute nothing. But now, we're not playing that game anymore. Men are starting to understand their value, and the whole dynamic is shifting.
So can we also make the argument that, well, women then cheat, but when they cheat, it's more of an emotional connection, where for a guy, it could just be, I don't know.
Yeah, I think, obviously this is also an opinion, but I think that men are more animalistic and, it's
instinctual.
Instinctual. I think a woman cheats far before she cheats physically.
Ooh.
If she is emotionally attracted to you, and if she's in a relationship, that's, for me, it's some form of cheating, right? Because you have someone, how can you allow that space to open up for someone else, right? And like I said, I mean, a woman can have sex with anyone, doesn't necessarily have to be invested emotionally, but I think that she will cheat way before she actually cheats physically.
So would you consider that cheating if they're mentally,
absolutely
texting other guys or
for me, yes.
entertaining other guys?
For me, I believe that is a form of cheating.
This is exactly why more and more men are walking away from women and ditching the dating scene altogether. Men are waking up to the fact that the game is rigged, and they're done with it. These modern women, they've become so entitled that they expect men to keep doing everything for them without offering anything in return. And now that men are no longer playing along, women are panicking. You see it everywhere. Desperation is setting in. These women can't figure out why men aren't approaching them exam, texazintalsaridingse, mosingsasane, the tower die sofort to iknang dan the coxis, like this gym, school, or anywhere else. They're used to guys pursuing them, bending over backward for a chance to impress them. But men are realizing that it's just not worth the hassle anymore. The narrative has been flipped. Men are focusing on themselves, leveling up, and finding value in their own lives. They've figured out that they don't need to chase women who don't bring anything to the table. Women, on the other hand, are sitting there wondering what happened. Why aren't men showering them with attention like before? Why aren't they getting the same validation they're used to? The truth is, men have finally started to see through the facade. They've recognized that modern women's expectations are through the roof, while their contributions are non-existent. And now, women are stuck, confused, and desperate, wondering why men have gone silent. It's because men are done playing this one-sided game, and they're starting to take control of their own lives. And the irony? These same women who once thought they had all the power are now left wondering why the men they thought they didn't need are no longer interested.
Where are the men that actually care about emotional connection?
Well, the first place that some women should look that are actually asking that question would be the friend zone. You know, that place that a lot of women put men that actually show them kindness, consideration, and understanding. Try looking there first.
Like, where are the men that actually want to build something with their person?
And the second place that some of these men will be found will be sitting quietly in their homes, enjoying the peace and tranquility that comes with being single.
Like, where? Where are they?
One's not going to find them up there.
Because I don't understand. It's just like, that's long gone. Emotional, spiritual, and mental connection is completely fucking gone, apparently.
No, it's not. But a lot of women forget that part of actually finding that connection would involve listening to their partner, not just their partner having to listen to them.
And all they really care about is physical attraction and gaining physical attention. So
that might be in large part due to a lot of women only being focused on a man's finances.
I don't know what kind of world we're living in, but honestly, if someone is not willing to connect on a mental, spiritual level, like, it's just not happening. I'm sorry.
We are living in the kind of world that modern feminism has created.
A modern woman operates purely from her ego, not from a place of understanding or empathy. When a guy ignores her, she immediately thinks she's being treated unfairly, like she's some sort of victim. What she doesn't realize is that she's been spoiled by years of getting free attention, time and validation from men without having to earn it. Back in the day, she was used to guys chasing her, bending over backward to give her approval. But now, when a man decides to focus on himself and not play into her entitlement, she feels like she's being wronged. The truth is, she's just not used to men walking away from her ego-driven behavior. She expects men to keep feeding her attention and validation on a silver platter. But those days are over. Men are starting to recognize their own worth and aren't here to prop up anyone's ego for nothing in return. And when that happens, these modern women are left scrambling, confused as to why they're no longer getting the free ride they've always had.
Who's got 500 million followers on social media just got engaged, and this is her ring. What do you think?
What I think is we're about to hear someone's opinion on that.
Here's the truth. An engagement ring must hurt a man financially to prove that he has long-term intention.
Oh, it's fun to be right. The real truth is that is the very definition of just an opinion.
Just like everything in life, financial investment equals to mental commitment.
Oh, does it now? I think that there are many people out there that might not agree with that. But let's hear this person's opinion why.
It's like comparing the bag that you spent $20 on and the one that you spent $2,000 on.
Are we really going to compare investing in a relationship by virtue of buying an expensive engagement ring to a woman buying a handbag? I guess so.
Do you care if the $20 bag gets scratched, get wet? No, you don't. But do you care your Chanel bag get dirty, and would you replace it so easily? No, you won't, because you've made a substantial financial investment in it.
Well, it's just me, but I wouldn't spend $2,000 on a handbag, period.
The more you invest in something, the more likely you're gonna cherish it and fix it when it's broken, not replace it. Marriage is the same.
Is that implying that we can chalk up those high divorce rates to people not investing enough money in their marriages?
An engagement ring should be a substantial financial investment from the man's side up front to prove his long-term intention to a woman.
And here I thought determining a person's true intentions was determined on their actions and how they treat another person.
Let me tell you how it is. More and more men are choosing to go their own way and ignore women. And you know what? It's driving women crazy. The more men pull away, the more these women crave that attention and validation. They're wired to seek acceptance. And when they're not getting it, they want it even more. It's a power shift, and men are waking up to it. As men start to ghost them, women are left scrambling, desperate for the attention they used to get on a silver platter. And let's be real. We've all seen this. It's happening right in front of us. Nothing wrong with calling it out. Here's the truth. Men going their own way is an evolving movement. Everyone around them, family, friends, co-workers, society, is trying to figure out why guys are walking away from the dating scene. The fact is, modern women can't handle it when men ignore them. They've spent their entire lives getting free affirmation and attention, and now that men are refusing to provide it, these women are losing their minds. Men are no longer playing the game, and women are left wondering what went wrong. Guess what? It's too late now. We've woken up.
So, my girlfriend told me she's out with family, and she forgot that I have her location, and she's at this bar. So we're about to pull up on her and see what she's really doing. Let's go. Really? Are you joking right now? Hey babe, I thought you were out with family. Who's this? Hi, this is my girlfriend. Not anymore. Okay. Thanks. Yeah.
The modern woman's ideology only works for them when they're in their teens to mid-20s. If they're focused on career success and don't want to settle down with a man or start a family, that mindset serves them perfectly during those years. But as they get older, the game changes. Meanwhile, men are starting to wake up to this and more guys are choosing to go their own way. People are curious about it. Some get it, others are completely against it. But here's the deal. Guys are realizing they've got no other option. They're becoming more autonomous, learning to disregard women altogether, and it's driving women nuts because now they don't know what to do. Women are confused. When men ignore them, it throws them off, almost like being rejected in childhood all over again. Do these women even care about the men? Or are they just curious about why they're not the centre of attention anymore? Let's face it. Wealthy, handsome men who choose to go their own way. They drive women crazy. The more these men neglect them, the more it messes with their heads. Women don't know how to handle it when they're no longer the ones calling the shots. That's the reality.
Okay, the Dodgers start playing at 1 o'clock, so this is part 2 of me trying to meet my future husband authentically without dating apps. We dressed cute, I waxed my mustache. We're gonna go sit at a sports bar, have a little drinky drink, eat some fried pickles, and we're gonna see what happens. Let's go. First message, don't get bangs. Second message, that was a big old bust. There was like 10 people in that bar and every man was with a girl. Lucky for me, I stumbled upon a flea market. That is way more my type, so we're gonna check it out. That was also a bust, but I pet a dog, so that was neat. I spy a record store ahead of me, so we're gonna hit that up. Won't find any men there.
Nope.
I was the only one in the store. My parking's expired and I gotta pee, so we'll try again next weekend.
No more free drinks for women at bars. This one woman is out there, trying to meet her future husband the old-fashioned way, skipping the dating apps, hitting up sports bars, flea markets and record stores. But it's all disappointment. Women are starting to realise that men aren't buying them drinks for free anymore. The days of expecting guys to just foot the bill are over. Now, some women are waking up to the fact that they actually need to start paying for their own drinks and stop relying on men to cover their expenses. The game has changed. Men are no longer playing the role of ATM machines for a night out. No more freebies, ladies. Time to step up and take responsibility for yourselves. That's the new reality.
Over 100.
Do women use men for free drinks at the club?
Most definitely.
Yeah?
Absolutely. Most definitely. We're trying to be rich.
How many drinks have y'all been bought? Like by just random guys?
Over 100. Wait, tonight?
Tonight.
Like 20 plus.
Dog.
You interviewing these pretty girls, you should be interviewing me, and I'm the real motherfucking sensation right here, dog.
They're married, they only buy their wife drinks, motherfucker.
Fucking truth right there, bro, what's up?
It's crazy, isn't it? Ask women about this, and they'll tell you that men are expected to buy drinks for women in bars and clubs. It's like some unwritten law. But who came up with this rule? And why are guys supposed to spend ridiculous amounts of money on overpriced drinks for women who wouldn't even say hello to them otherwise? It makes zero sense, especially in today's world. Women talk about equality and parity in every part of life, but when it comes to buying drinks, suddenly that goes out the window. Bars used to be where guys went to chill out and have fun, but then women came in and ruined the vibe, so men moved on to gyms. And now, women are even taking over that space too, because they can't stand seeing men enjoying themselves without them. It's like asking for financial advice from a homeless shelter if you're out there trying to find a wife in a bar. What do you expect to find? Gold diggers and women who want one thing. They don't care about what you've done for them yesterday. It's all about what you can do for them right now. If you're not promising them more in the future, whether it's gifts, money, or attention, you're worth nothing to them. And that's exactly the same deal with these women who expect free drinks at bars. It's all about what they can take from you now, and if you don't play along, you're out. Men are waking up to this nonsense, and it's about time.
Holy f***ing shit, you guys! I'm driving your car, but I just got a notification that Ruth Bader Ginsburg died! Could this year get any f***ing worse? Ruth, you just had to make it to 2021!
Off to people that are pro-life. I fucking hate you. Why can't women have abortions? I just saw a pro-life sign driving down the road having a mental breakdown. And I just want to say, all you people are you're so fucking stupid.
I get it. I don't like the two-party system. I think our country's corrupt. And quite frankly, I don't want to vote for Biden. It feels like voting for a Republican. But I'm gonna do it! You wanna know why?
Why?
Because the alternative is a fascist! A fascist is a fascist! Maybe we can have the conversation about dismantling the two-party system when a fascist isn't running! Maybe we can do that later, kiddo! Champ! Chief! Maybe we can talk about it later!
I could feel pain before I was born! It's a baby! Bitch, I was born! And I can feel pain! I wish I wasn't born! You're stupid! And I wish I had been aborted!
I have not felt this amount of sinking despair since November of...
The problem men face today is that we've been sold this idea that men and women are equal. But that doesn't hold up when you break it down. Back in the day, men were the providers, the breadwinners, and the protectors. If you didn't fulfill that role, or if you were an abuser or alcoholic, you'd get kicked out of your community, and a divorce actually meant something. But with the rise of no-fault divorce and feminism, the game has changed entirely. Today's men, who grew up in the feminist era, are being told that men and women are equal, yet men still have to deal with child support, alimony, and fighting for custody of their kids. It's a complete contradiction. There are no legal incentives for a man to get married anymore. Everything men used to gain from marriage can now be found outside of it, and there's no longer the societal shame that used to keep things in check. If someone files for divorce, they should leave with what they came with. No child support, no alimony, both parents should get 50-50 custody unless one opts out. And let's not forget, mandatory paternity tests at birth and during divorce. If it's not the man's kid, the woman should pay full reparations for emotional damage and even serve jail time for fraud. If women want true equality, they need to agree to 3 things: register for the draft, equally represent in blue-collar jobs, and paternity tests at birth. That's how you solve a lot of these issues. This is why men are online warning each other about the pitfalls of dating, especially with women who have children. They're high risk, and the number of women now complaining online that men don't want to date them has skyrocketed. In places like Germany, where DIY paternity tests are banned without the woman's consent, men should just go ahead and do them without her knowledge. Why? Because he has been played. And, he deserves to know the truth. Women have become addicted to power, and when no-fault divorce ends, the game changes. No more leaving just because they're bored or had a change of heart. Alimony? Gone. Half the savings? Retirement? The house? Gone. The government knows this will reduce their control over people, But they'll give up a little now to keep the bigger agenda rolling in the long term. In the past, people didn't divorce over small stuff. It had to be something serious, abuse, infidelity, or abandonment. Now, feminists are losing their minds as they slowly realize men don't have it as easy as they thought. Men have been suffering in silence, and now the truth is out. Feminism has been a disaster for modern society. The socio-economic status of women has risen, and that makes it harder for them to satisfy their hypergamy. Instead of a husband, child, and house, they settle for a boss, a pet, and an apartment. This causes conflict when they're out there looking for a suitable mate. The government might remove no-fault divorce, but it's just to keep the working class in check. The system still favours women in court, and minority men will continue to get the worst of it. For the younger guys out there, don't fall into the trap. Under no-fault divorce, you could spend 10 years contributing to a mortgage and a 401k, and if she decides she's found a hotter guy, you're left with half of what you built, while she moves on to someone else. Women today are even admitting to this. They call it a starter marriage, meaning they expect it to be temporary from the start. Men are waking up realising that marriage is a losing game for them in the modern world. Stay sharp, stay strong, and don't fall into the trap.